Raikkonen's third, and is that...
We all know what's going to happen here. This is going to be one of the greatest moments in Formula 1 history. But how do we get here? How do we get to a title decider on the last corner of the last lap of the last race? When looking back on this race, we only seem to look at this moment, not the race itself. Well, I'm here to take a proper look at the 2008 Brazilian Grand Prix and how this race became the defining moment for many F1 fans my age. Before we talk about the race, we need context. Let's talk about the two men involved, Felipe Massa and Lewis Hamilton. Let's start with Massa first. Massa entered F1 in 2002 with Sauber. He was left without a seat in 2003 but regained the Sauber seat in 2004. In 2006 he got the opportunity of a lifetime with Ferrari. The same year, he would win his first race at Turkey. In 2007 he played second fiddle to Kimi Raikkonen and would help him win the championship in Brazil. Lewis, on the other hand, started in F1 just a year before with McLaren. He grew up in Stevenage and was destined to be just another poor boy who had dreams in F1 but didn't have the money to achieve it. But his dad Anthony did everything he could to give him a chance, working numerous jobs a week just to pay for his kids' racing. Then at the Autosport Awards, Hamilton met with Ron Dennis and asked if he could drive his car one day. Ron answered, "Give me a call in a few years." In 2006, he lit up the GP2 series and finally moved up into F1 in 2007. His debut season was sensational, being one of 3 drivers to win the championship in Brazil, but as I mentioned before, Kimi got the title. But going into the final race of this season, only Hamilton and Massa can win the championship. And the final race is in Massa's backyard, Brazil. The crowd is merciless. Hamilton may be ahead on points, but it seems like he has the world against him. Before the race begins, it starts to rain, adding further drama. Massa starts on pole position and Hamilton starts in 4th. Lewis can afford to lose 1 place if Massa wins the race. The lights go out and it's all clean, until they come to turn 2 where Rosberg taps the retiring Coulthard around and Nakajima goes into him. Coulthard's career is most certainly over after just 2 corners. Conditions improved enough that the field pitted for dries. Hamilton rejoined 7th, while Massa kept his lead. It was becoming clearer by the day that Hamilton needed 5th, and so he started to fight back, first passing Trulli, then Fisichella. On lap 36, Timo Glock would pit, taking in enough fuel to finish the race. Timo started in F1 in 2004 for Jordan, however would spend the next few years in Champ Car and GP2. In 2007, he won the GP2 championship and was signed by Toyota for 2008. On lap 57, Sebastian Vettel pitted, out of sync with the field but blisteringly quick and starting to hound Lewis as rain was expected to fall any minute. It finally started to fall on lap 63. Hamilton and Vettel pitted for wets on lap 66, whilst Massa pitted a lap later with just 4 laps to go. In all this chaos, Timo Glock gambled on dries, who was 7th before the front runners pitted. This moved him up to 4th place. Massa kept his lead, Hamilton was 1 slip away from losing it all. And on lap 69, as Kubica unlapped himself, Lewis made a calamitous mistake.
Oh my goodness me! Vettel's taken the place, and that could cost Hamilton the World Championship!
The question was now on whether Glock could keep ahead of Hamilton. For the next 2 laps, Hamilton tries everything to get ahead of Vettel, but it is no use. Massa comes across the line to win, but as Hamilton runs the final corner...
And is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock! Oh my goodness me! Hamilton's back in position again!
Yes.
The 2008 Formula 1 World Champion, Lewis Hamilton.